Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Trinity Christian Church.
Good morning. How you doing? It's good to be with you guys this morning on in our online worship service, I should say.
We are really glad that you guys are with us.
So what's up is what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about different forms of what's up. So it can sometimes be interpreted, of course, as sup.
What up?
What up? We'll see what's up, or what up. So anyways, we're going to see what's up with God this morning. We're going to get into a passage in Elijah. Did I say Elijah?
You just said Elijah.
I did. That's what I mean. It's been a long morning. We've had a lot going
already.
on. we're gonna get into a passage here where is it Elijah? I'm like confused already. Isaiah is what I'm trying to say. Why am I saying Elijah? Julie wanted to do the slides. I'm like, I need to see the next slide so I can remember what I'm talking about. I haven't slept much last night. We just got done clearing out some of our equipment with a bunch of you. So we did have a chance to see some of you guys this morning. But yeah, we're going to take a minute to worship, and we're going to look at Isaiah, not Elijah. And we're going to ask, what's up with God? We're going to look at this question. What's God doing? What's he doing next? What's up with God? But let's go ahead and worship together. We are going to sing Fight Calls. Let's watch the worship team lead it.
Stay down the waves, 'cause you own the tide, and I still myself and know, and you wait for me on waters wild, where faith walks above the storm. 'Cause even when the world caves, even when the fight calls, wars rage, I'll take heart. I know that you are greater, forever you're my Savior. I will sing praises with all that I am, with all that I am, Lord. With all that I am, with all that I am,
The storm within my heart, won't let the darkness beat me down. Singing the night, my hope alive in you. I'll walk through the fire and not be burned, pray in the fire and watch you turn. Jesus, tonight I give it all to you. I won't let the storm wither my heart, won't let the darkness beat me down. Singing the night, my hope alive in you. And I'll walk through the fire and not be burned, pray in the fire and watch it turn. Jesus, tonight I give it all to you. 'Cause even when the world caves, even when the fight calls, even when the wars rage, I'll take heart. That you are greater, forever you're my Savior. I will sing your praises with all that I am, with all that I am,
So what's up with God is what we're going to talk about this morning. And Isaiah is the passage that we wanted to talk about, not Elijah. I guess I just didn't get enough rest, and I'm a little confused, but it didn't sound right when I said Elijah, and I was like, why am I so confused right now? Anyways, we're going to talk about Isaiah 43. And this really talks about what's up with God. What's he doing? You know, this is kind of the term that we throw out to each other all the time when we're talking or chilling and, you know, see someone and say, hey, what's up? What's going on? The Bible really does speak a lot about what's up with God, what's going on with God, what's next. And this passage is kind of like God giving us a response. Hey, here's what's going on. Here's what's up with me. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm in the middle of. So let's go ahead and look at this morning. We're going to have it, of course, on the screen, which is, let me point that way. There we go. We're going to have it on the screen, but
I figure after a year we would have this down.
I know.
But obviously someone
It's
needs a little
rough.
more coffee this morning.
Julie and I are producing. Sean and Brian and
The team.
Devin and Matt and my parents, they were all there at the church helping us kind of clear out some stuff. So they are not able to help us produce this morning. So we're producing solo all by ourselves. But we'll make it, and it'll be cleaner next week. But you guys will love us and forgive us, hopefully. So anyway, Isaiah 43, 19 through 21. Julie's going to go ahead and read it, and then we're going to go through. We're going to break it down into 4 different sections. There's my screen. We'll break it down into 4 different sections. And then we'll talk about those sections one at a time and kind of look at what's up with God. What's he doing? What is God doing in the world around us? What is he doing in life? Why does the word of God still pertain to us and the things that God is speaking into our lives? Why do these things pertain to us? Well, we're going to look at what God is doing, what he's in the process of doing. And even though there were some specific things in this passage he was talking about, this is the nature of our God. This is who he is. This is what he does. And so we want to look at that and answer this question this morning. What's up with God? What's he doing? So Julie, go ahead and read for us.
Okay, I'm going to make this larger. It says, this is what God says, the God who builds a road right through the ocean, who carves a path through pounding waves, the God who summons horses and chariots and armies. They lay down and they can't get up. They're snuffed out like so many candles. Forget about what's happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert. Be present. I'm about to do something brand new. It's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert, rivers in the Badlands. Wild animals will say thank you. The coyotes and the buzzards, because I provided water in the desert, rivers through the sun-baked earth, drinking water for the people I chose, the people I made especially for myself, a people custom made to praise me.
All right, so what we're seeing right away, and of course you have really little print there. It's just a summary of the first part of that passage that Julie already read, so you don't have to read it. If you're getting really close to your screen and try to read it, don't worry about it. He says, this is what God says, God who builds a road right through the oceans, right, and carves a path through the pounding waves. What's up with God? The first thing God says is he has the power to make things happen. And I think this is important for us to recognize, because especially in a world like today, we often get caught up in thinking that the only place that power comes from is the circumstances around us and who's in charge and who pushes their way to the top. But God is very clear that he has power to make things happen. God can make things happen in your life and in mine. And that can be new things. That can have to do with healing. That can have to do with your finances. Absolutely. That can have to do with your opportunities. But God has the power to do it. And that's where we start. That's the first place that God responds to this question of what's up, what's God doing? Well, God has the power to do something, and that's important for us to remember.
Yes. Well, and we want to understand that God has the power to do something, because we all are searching for something. We want a change. We want a change in our life, and we get wrapped up in the fact that we try to do it ourselves for so long we try to do it on our own. And knowing that God has the power to make a difference in our lives, in our world, the people around us, our own hearts, in any circumstance, automatically sets us up to say, okay, I have a chance to move forward. I can do new things with God as well.
Yeah, so God starts by saying, hey, listen, I'm the one who's done it in the past, and I'm the one who's going to be doing it in the future. So lean on me. Put your faith in me, and that's where new things are going to start happening. So the first thing we have to remember is God has the power in your life and in my life to make things happen, to make new things happen. So then he goes on to the next little section. He goes, forget, and this is interesting. He goes, forget about what's happened before.
Not always easy.
Not easy at all, right? He says, don't keep going over old history. All right, now we all do this, right?
Yep.
We all know how things could have been better, right? Whether it's that conversation like, oh, if I had just said this, or if it was that, that report we turned in, if I'd only written it this way or whatever it is, we go over old history. I wish that person never said this, or I wish I had said that.
Or you wish you had to come back to something.
Yeah. I wish I would have.
I wish I would have thought of that sooner.
Yeah. I wish I would have said something better at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. If I would only said this, right. Or I wish that never happened to me, or I wish I never had to go through that, right? We go over the past and we think about it, and we do something called living in the past or dwelling in the past. Right. And our lives start to become almost locked in this rut of expressing ourselves through the past. Maybe mistakes we've made, maybe frustrations we've had, maybe things that never went our way, or maybe even the glory days, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We joke around about that, and I catch myself always going, oh, yeah, that used to be great. Well, God's saying it's not used to be. He's going to do great things in the future. He has great things in store for your life. But the only way we kind of open the door to those great things is to shut the door to the things of the past. We have to be willing to let go of the things of the past and embrace the new things that God is doing. And somebody wise once said, and it might even be very closely tied to some scripture, the only thing we're guaranteed of in life is change. Things are going to change. Things are constantly going to be new and different. And God is saying, what's up with him? He's not about the past. He's doing new things in the future. We got to let go of what's in the past, not worry about it, not get caught up in it, not ruminate and marinate and continue to go over the things in the past over and over and over and look towards what he's doing in the future.
Well, and two, clinging to our past is definitely a tool that Satan does, because I've noticed in my own life, and I'm sure many of you have noticed as well in your own lives, is that when you start moving forward, when you want to make change, Satan is right there saying, but you did this, or you've had this happen in your life, or remember when you did this. And even though we try to give those things to God, we say, God, they're in your hands. Please forgive me for something, or help me to grow and move on. Satan's right there throwing it in our face constantly. And we allow that to sneak back into our minds and our hearts. And then we do get a little worried about the future. Or we say, oh yeah, maybe that's not for me because, I'm not a great person. I've messed up. I've made mistakes. So how can I change my life? How can I make a difference? But that's why we have to look back and say, you know what? God says, let the past be in the past. Take a new step. Every single day we start with a new step, a new chance, a new beginning. And God gives us that new beginning each and every day. And that's just what makes it, again, we know he has the power to do it because we already talked about that. He has the power. And then he says, forget about the past. You can't change it. There's nothing you can do to go back and change the past. All you can do is take today and move forward.
And God literally is declaring that I will be doing new things. And so the question is, do we trust God? Do we believe he can do new things? Or are we so tied and so comfortable with our mistakes in the past that we characterize ourselves by those mistakes? We characterize ourselves by those failures, or maybe even the successes of the past. Maybe you had a great success when you were much younger at something you tried, and that's kind of where you let it end, or let it kind of resolve, and you haven't come back towards the things in the future and continue to target new projects and new opportunities and new things with that same kind of tenacity and that same level of kind of going at it as you did maybe when you were younger. And there's all kinds of excuses, right? We can make so many excuses. Our health, and I'm more tired, I'm getting older. I decided to shave because it was making me look too old.
And I'm very glad he did.
She did, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the goatee on
my little son looked at me this morning and he was like, oh, who's that, mommy? I was like, geez, he forgot who I was quickly when I shaved. But, we need to be looking towards what's in the future, not caught up in what things used to be or the way it used to go, but what is God doing next? That's what's up with God, not what's in the past, but what's in the future.
Yep, absolutely. And the other thing is every single one of us has a future that we can do something towards God. Now, if we're getting older, any of those things that happen in life, we can say, oh, I'm not, as young as I used to, or I'm too busy. I have, like me, a million kids, things like that. We can say, make all these little excuses, but God is saying, I have a purpose for each and every one of you. Doesn't matter your age. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter anything that you're going through, because he still has a purpose for you. And Satan wants you distracted from the fact that God can use you, and he will use you if you allow him to.
And God is ready to use you. He's doing something now. Let's look at the next part of that passage. He goes, I'm about to do something brand new. He says, it's bursting out. Don't you see it? Here it is. I'm making a road through the desert, rivers in the badland. And what he's saying here is that God is doing new things for you, but you need to be alert and present. You need to be aware that this is who God is. This is what he does. This is what's up with God. God is is doing new things, and you need to be looking towards what God's doing next. And a lot of times, I think most of the battle is that we do spend a lot of time looking down or looking back. In our lives, we're looking at what's right in front of us. We're just looking at the thing that I happen to have to do right now because it's the circumstance that I'm caught up in. So I'm focused on what's right in front of me, or I'm trying to recover from things in the past, or deal with fires in the past, or deal with failures in the past. And we're so busy looking at either what's right in front of me right now, which might even include entertainment and relaxing, or we're looking at what happened in the past where we didn't make it, or we weren't successful, or we failed, or didn't seem to kind of follow through. And we never look towards what's next. We don't look towards what might God want to be doing with your life. We joke around about it all the time, but life is short. Our time here on earth is short. God has a certain amount of time in store for us to get some certain things done and to grow and develop into certain people. And we need to take the opportunity that's in front of us to make that happen.
Yeah. And we, again, just being present. It's hard. It's so easy to miss what God's doing because we get busy. And I think that was, we talked about the first thing is that Satan reminds us of what's going on or what we've done in our past and all those things. But second tool of his is to keep us busy, keep us distracted from the fact that God has all these things around us that he wants us to be involved with or a part of. But if we're so busy and so focused on what's right here, right now, I'm busy, then we miss what's going on as well.
So the real key here in this part of the scripture is that God is doing new things for you. And why do I say things for you? Because he's referring to the physical things in life that are restraining us. In the desert, there's no water. That's what makes a desert deadly, right? Is that if you get stuck in a desert with no water, you're going to have a problem. He's saying that's a physical need that you have. You physically need this, and God is the one who's going to provide it. So sometimes we think, oh, well, if I'm a good Christian, I'm not asking God for all these physical needs. Well, God already promises to be taking care of your physical needs. He says, I will be doing this for you. These are the new things I'll be doing in your life. I'll be meeting your needs. I'll be making sure that the things you need are taken care of. But look up to what I'm doing. Look up to where I'm going and what I'm building right in front of you, and be ready for it. Look towards what God's doing next. All right. And then at the end, he goes, he talks about kind of a little more specific about what he's saying. He talks about, some of the animal analogies, they'll drink and eat and they'll be okay. But he really refers at the end of that passage to why all this matters. And it all matters because the water is for the people that I chose, the people I made especially for myself, a people custom made to praise me. So when we say, well, what's up with God? The fourth thing we see in this passage is that you are his family and he wants what's best for you. That's what's up with God. When you ask, we always kind of joke around. We walk in the room, hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing? What's going on? Well, what's up with God is that he cares about you. He loves you and you're important and he cares about you. So when you're wondering, what's going on with my life? I kind of feel like I'm stuck or I don't know what's going on. Know that God has plans for your life, plans to take care of you, your physical needs, your medical needs, your spiritual needs, even your emotional needs, your future, your life, your family, your career. God has plans to help you in those areas. But he does that because you are his family. He loves you and he cares about you and he wants what's best. And sometimes when we want what's best for our kids, it doesn't always mean what they want.
Most of the time.
Just the other day, Gavin came in and he said, can I have something? He comes into my office here whenever I'm working and asks me for stuff. And he knows, just like all my other kids, that if I'm distracted, I'll probably say yes and no big deal.
It's great.
I like to be the dad of yes. I feel like everybody says no. So I'll be different. I'll say yes. So he comes in. No, that's not good parenting, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
don't do that.
That was a joke. So he comes in, he goes, can I have it? I go, yes. And then I thought about it later, that was something sweet. And then he comes back in, Dad, can I have this? And I said, no. And he got all mad. He got all frustrated. And I said, no, it's not good for you. You already had something sweet. That's enough sweet. And he was really upset, got bent out of shape, all irritated. I go, oh my goodness, definitely not now, buddy. If you're going to throw a fit about it, you definitely can't have it because that shows me that it's too much. It's not something that you need in your life. And of course, he storms out mad and upset. But what was best for him was not necessarily what he wanted. And sometimes that's true for us. Hopefully, we don't throw a fit like a baby. But that was what he did.
Depends on what it is.
It depends on what it is. Yes, if it's chocolate, maybe, right? So, he was throwing a fit. Of course, I'm referring to a kid. But sometimes with us, when we don't get what we feel like we want from God, we get upset. We're like, why didn't I get what I want, God? Why didn't it go my way?
Or we think that we really know what we want that is best for us, like maybe a new job or a new home or a new pathway or a situation to happen. And we think, okay, this is what's best. I know what is best. I want it so bad. And God's saying, wait a minute, I have something else in store for you. I have something better, but you have to trust me because I have this plan. And if you follow along with me, you'll understand later why it was a no now.
Now we're going to summarize all of this one more time, but let's just take another moment to worship. We're going to choose a song here called Waymaker. And this song reminds us exactly of this passage in Isaiah. I didn't say Elijah. In Isaiah, where it's not Elijah. Is in Isaiah where God, the song talks about God making a way through the barren deserts, through the ocean, through the places where we look at in life and say, there's no way I'm going to get through this. I don't see how I'm going to get to the other side. Well, God is the way maker, and let's worship together as we sing that.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you.
You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. When I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you
All right. So in summary, we're asking the question, what's up with God? Well, in Isaiah, it says that God has the power to do the new things in our life. What's up is the future. God is doing new things in the future in your life and in my life. What's up with God is that he's already working. We need to be letting go of what's in the past and pointing towards what's in the future so we can see what God's doing, so we can be a part of what God is doing. And what's up with God is that he wants the best for you. He considers you his child. He loves you. He cares about you deeply, and God has a plan for your life. So God has the power. We got to let go of the past. We got to look at what he's doing and recognize that he loves us no matter what. So we are in good hands.
And of course, we do want to remind you that he loves you so very much. He cares about everything that you're going through and wants to be there for you. And, also, you guys, I want to kind of emphasize something else too. This isn't just about us. It's also for other people. So in our own lives, one of the big things that does hold us up is other people. And we don't allow them to change, or we think that they're stuck in their ways and nothing can happen with them too. And maybe we harbor hurt or animosity or fear or anger or frustration towards somebody else. And God's saying, you know what? It might be time to let that go as well. Because just like I could do something new in your life, I can do something new in their lives as well. So be open to that this week. If that's something that, maybe you need to pray through and ask God if there's someone that you're harboring hurt or anger, frustration, resentment about, and, learn to let it go. Forgive other people. It'll be a huge weight off your own shoulders. And God wants you to grow as well. And you can do that by forgiving and changing and realizing that God loves you. He loves other people too. And he wants you guys to grow in a relationship with him as well. Each one of us to step forward in the new things he's doing for us, recognizing that they're around there and moving forward in that path. And so, with that.
Well, Julie and I were talking just before we started service about how during coronavirus, a lot of relationships have almost kind of been put on hold because we don't see each other face to face, and we may not recognize it, but a lot of the depth of our relationship is often based on our circumstances. We're in the same room together. We meet at the same church or the same place or the same building. And so we talk about life and what's going on and what are you doing? What am I doing? And so for a lot of us, some relationships have been maybe put on hold that we might need to start kind of growing again and reaching out towards one another. And like Julie said, remembering to forgive first, to reach out and see what God's doing in each other's lives. It's important to see what's next and what God has going on. So that's our encouragement. God has the power. We got to let go of what's in the past. He's already working. So we just need to step out in faith, knowing that he wants what's best for us. And that's what church is all about this morning. Yes. That's what's up with God. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, we let you know that, if you are a member of the church, part of this ministry, and you want to kind of contribute or give, the best way to do that is right there down below so that you can help us continue to do what we're doing here. We have announced as of last week that we are going to be more of an online church and more of an online presence. We're still looking for the time when we can get together and have a worship venue together and share stories with one another and get a chance to kind of hear what's going on in each other's life. But for right now, this is what we're going to be doing. So I encourage you to subscribe at our YouTube channel to get connected in any way that you can to stay on top of things. If your email is how you connect, go ahead and do that. That's right below there. And if texting or phone calling is the best way you connect, well, then go ahead and do that. And let's reach out. Remember to be praying for each other. And Julie has one other thing she's going to share with us here before we wrap up.
Just a couple prayer requests. If you guys can be praying for the Thorpe family, specifically Mike Thorpe, who is a part of our church. His wife, Jendi, passed away this week. So please be praying for all of them right now, just for comfort for the family. It's definitely a hard time right now. Pray for my dad. He had a stroke last night. So just keep him in your prayers. And then our little Connor is having heart surgery in the morning. So please be praying for him too. And please send us any prayer requests that you guys have as well. We love to be praying for you guys. We just really pour our hearts out into that because we really know that God answers our prayers as well. So just keep sending those.
That's it. God bless. Have a great one. Thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Thanks, guys. Bye.